Hi, in this video, we're going to discuss how to create an image recognition model. Previously, you looked at regressive models in TensorFlow. Regressive models are used to predict a particular data point given other data points. For example, given input data that is Celsius temperatures, you saw how you can use a regressive model to predict Fahrenheit temperatures. Classification models are a little different. These models use training data with a known classification to create a model to predict which classification a new object may fall in. Let's look at an example of this. In this lesson, you will specifically look at image classifications. For example, you could create a tree classification model. You would train the model by providing training data of trees with labels that are identified as the correct category. After training the model, you could then provide a new image, and the model would attempt to classify that tree into one of the categories it was trained on. The model calculates probabilities of the new image falling into each category of tree. The category with the highest probability becomes the model's guess. This example of classifying images of trees uses a classification model. Classification models, which are used to classify images, often use a particular kind of neural network called convolutional neural networks. So what is a convolutional neural network? Well, convolutional neural network is a type of neural network that is commonly used to classify images. Convolutional neural networks use the same sequential models that you saw earlier, where layers are processed in sequential order. A convolutional neural network uses three new layer types. The first new layer type is a convolutional layer. The convolutional layer transforms the image data into a numerical format for the model by processing it through a weighted matrix known as the kernel. The second new layer is called a max pooling layer. Max pooling reduces the convolutional layer data by selecting a maximum value for a small region of values. The third new layer is a flattening layer. The flattening layer is used in two-dimensional grids from the max pooling layer and transforms it into a single dimension of data. A convolutional neural network can use multiple convolutions and max pooling layers, but it uses only one flattening layer. Now let's see how a convolutional neural network can be created in TensorFlow. For this example, we will work with a weather image classification model. We'll classify these as either rainy, cloudy, sunny, or a sunrise. You will feed a set of images into TensorFlow to make a model that can predict whether a new image is rainy, cloudy, sunny, or a sunrise. The model will use a sequential set of layers similar to the temperature conversion model. However, instead of a dense first layer, the model uses a convolution 2D layer as the first layer. The 16 represents the number of convolutional outputs to create for the model. You can think of the outputs similar to how the nodes worked in the other models. More outputs allow for modeling more complex images. There are several parameters that you do not need to adjust, including the kernel, padding type, and activation. Finally, for this first layer, you specify the input shape. In this case, we are using an image size of 150 pixels by 150 pixels with three color channels, red, green, and blue, for a color image. Next, you apply a max pooling layer with a 2x2 grid. You can then specify other convolutional layers to help with the complexity of your image. Notice that these follow the same format minus the input shape. A convolutional layer is always followed by a max pooling layer. Finally, you need to apply output layers. You start with a flattened layer which translates the grid into a single dimension to allow for more efficient modeling. Once the data is flattened, it can then be used as an input into a dense layer. The dense layer may be familiar as the first layer type in the temperature model we saw previously. After the dense layer, a final output layer is applied. Notice that the final layer now has 4 nodes because there are 4 different image categories. The compile statement looks similar, but uses a different loss model than we used previously. You don't need to understand the loss model at this point, other than to note that sparse categorical cross-entropy loss models fits categories better. You also need to add a metrics component to capture the accuracy of the model. When teamed up with a set of validation data, you can capture the metrics to show how well the model performed. The validation data are additional images not used to train the model. These images are run through the model to test how well the model predicts and can be a good indication of model accuracy for predicting new images. The model can now be used to make a prediction. When you input an image to make a prediction, the model produces a probability that it fits into each of the 4 weather categories. The highest value indicates the most likely category. In this example, the first category shows the highest probability. Now let's take a closer look at this in action.